up, everybody? It's Revv time. Today I'm just kind of messing around, honestly. There's a new Smashing Pumpkins tune out that I really dig. It's called Beguiled. And for me, as a Smashing Pumpkins fan, I'm kind of old school. So I go back to like 95, which was Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, which was one of my favorite records. One of my favorite songs off that was Zero. But the new tune, Beguiled, just has this really cool guitar riff, and just the way it's arranged and everything about it, I just thought was so cool. Now, in this case, I didn't even bother trying to actually just match everything. You know, Billy Corgan, all the guys in the band, they're so good at layering tracks, and there was a lot going on in that mix. So rather than try and do all of that, I just thought, well, it'll just be fun to kind of cover the song somewhat, you know, my way, using the Revv Generator 120. So I ended up using one guitar the whole time, this PRS, and I mainly was on the on channel 3 for all that rhythm stuff, and then I used channel 2 for the harmony stuff in that kind of B section. But I started out with on channel 3, as you can see, which is, you know, it's pretty straight ahead. I don't have any aggression on. You can see how it's dialed there. The gains at noon, trebs, you know, creeping up on maybe 230, mids are down a bit, bass is almost at noon. I do have the bright and the cut switch on, and I was just kind of going for that as like the start of, you know, a double track, you know, so I kind of did this thing. And that worked on one side, and then all I did was switch to, actually I switched to channel 4, but on channel 4, instead of using a 4x12, I actually switched to a 2x12, Revv 2x12. It's actually the stock 2x12 that's in the 6 presets on the Revv. So I had this thing. And normally those two tones, like that tone for me as a standalone, is a little bright, but with the two mixed together, it sounded really cool. So if you listen to the mix left and right, you'll hear it. And you can see on channel 4, I had blue aggression mode. Gain was down a little bit. I had the same bright and cut switches on. Treble's about the same, but I had the mids down, as you can see, and the bass rolled way down. So it would kind of take up less space, especially when I added a bass guitar to it. I just felt like that worked really well. I mean, I could have stayed bigger. I could have stayed on like the 4x12. That's definitely fatter, but it doesn't have the same top end as if I switch to the 2x12. So it's really, I mean, when I'm layering tracks, that's what I do. Usually the ancillary or the right side track, whatever isn't the main track, usually ends up sounding brighter and maybe a little bit smaller so that it fits and creates that kind of spread out thing. Now for the those kind of harmony things in that B section, I actually switched to channel 2, and that's on the 4x12, which it's probably already there, but I'll go ahead and make sure it's there. That was on a 4x12. You can see how I have it dialed. Red, or I should say blue drive mode, bright is on, And by itself, it sounds like this. Oh, and I went ahead and used the reverb that was on the amp, but that's what I used for those harmonies. Now, that's how it is by itself. I just realized I can't show you what I used because it's not out yet. I'll eventually be demoing this. Essentially, it's a treble booster. So I turned on a treble booster to get kind of that more kind of set position wah sound. So I'll turn it on. Now, when I did that pass, I actually, that's 4. So I doubled the high and the low harmony because there's a low harmony as well. And I used, same thing, I turned on this treble booster thing. And that ended up sounding really cool. You could do the same thing that I'm doing with this with, like I said, like a set position, like wah pedal, would get the same, pretty much the same effect. I mean, this does add a little bit of saturation, but for the most part, you get the same, you get the idea, you get the same effect. So that's really what I did. And like I said, I wasn't trying to just like match these tones. I'm not even sure if I played it right. I'm actually friends with Jeff Schroeder. He's probably going to kill me when he sees this. But let me know what you guys think. Do you dig the Pumpkins? Do you dig that song? And as always, I really appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next time.